Welcome to the Coaches Show on KBPK. To my right, Raymond Vasquez. To my left, Ryan Osborne, the social media magnate here on KBPK, because we got football this weekend. And Ryan, where can everybody go when they want to find out about the program, about the game, about the reception, and the rest of the season?
So the number one thing that you want to do is go to sportsnetusa.net or the FC Athletic website and take a look at the reception stream that is going to take place. So there's two different things going on. You've got the reception stream with KBPK. We're going to be talking to alumni, we're going to be talking to former coaches, and also just fans and supporters of this entire program as they celebrate the first home game on campus. However, after that, on sportsnetusa.net, you're going to get the Fullerton College Santa Barbara information as well about this big-time matchup. And also, you just want to keep up with what KBPK is doing. You can visit our Instagram page at 90.1 KBPK, or you can take a look at our YouTube page, which, of course, has the live link for the reception.
Well, let's go out and visit with our coaches, so stick around with us as we're going to hear more about this weekend here on the Coaches Show.
Hello, I'm Raymond Vasquez here on KBPK. I'm joined by tight ends coach Chris Dixon. Coach, thank you for joining me tonight.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
How are the tight ends looking coming into this season?
You know, we're pretty good. I got a veteran crew. Cam Woods is coming back. You know, with him having a very good year last year, him being healthy, that's a good thing for us. Devin Jones got hurt last year, but he's back, and he's healthy.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Gatewood played for us last year, and the expectation for him to play more is there. So I got three good ones.
And what are your expectations going into the season?
For the tight ends, you know, really just, you know, solidify the tight end position, things that we need to do. You know, block on the edge, run good routes, and make sure that, you know, we're being physical, not only in the blocking game, but in the passing game as well. So I kind of coach them to do both. So the expectation for them is to do that at a high level and hopefully stay healthy and, you know, move forward.
Now, obviously, this game this Saturday is a big game, first game on this field.
Huge.
So not just the players, but the coaches. How are you feeling playing with this big legacy behind you?
You know, a lot of, like, we have coaches that have played on Fullerton's teams, you know, played, you know, back in the past. So we're excited. We're excited the fact that we actually get to play on the field for the first time in 100+ years. We're actually excited to actually play on our field and not have to go across the street or go down the way and play a home game, that we're actually playing on our home field and actually being the first team to be able to do that. Absolutely. So the excitement is big right now.
This is Raymond Vasquez here on KBPK, joined by tight ends coach Chris Dixon. Coach, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We're talking to the head coach of the Fullerton College Hornets, Coach Garrett Campbell. And Coach, I mean, in the past, you and I have talked about how you start off a season, what the feeling is. But we get away from that for a moment because it's a historic moment for Fullerton College coming up on Saturday. As the head coach of this program, you know, what feelings does that bring in yourself, considering how long you yourself have been here with the program?
Yeah, it's I've thought a lot about that, and I've thought a lot about that over the basically since last season ended, and knowing that we'd be out here, looking forward to this week and this weekend means a lot to me, quite honestly. I might get choked up a little bit. You know, I was out here running around this field. Obviously, the field was grass, and guys would come out from the locker room way down there and jog out here. They do their dips and they do their pull-ups, and they get on the field, and the field was grass, and it was grass for half the season, because then it would turn to dirt, and which would then eventually turn into mud. But yeah, you know, as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old ball boy running around here, especially during the summers when I was on vacation, you know, running around with Coach Sherbeck, and then obviously my dad and Coach Sampson and Coach Jesperson and Coach Thomas and all these guys that mean a lot to me as a person, because they watched me grow up, and then to come in and play for Coach Murphy and get to know him and play for him and then coach for him eventually, and for those to be around all those people and then come back and actually work for Tim Burns, who I started my coaching career as he was the offensive coordinator. I was coaching receivers. So, it's just it's a big deal. It really is. And I don't know if I'm doing it justice with the words I use, but for me, it's pretty magical. It really is. And knowing, I used to love as a little kid walking across the street to Fullerton High School and listening to the sound of the cleats as we walked across the street, and just thinking about all that. I'm just having flashbacks right now to thinking about guys like Rich Nelson or Rob Coons, guys who played specifically for my dad, Jeff Andrews and some of these other guys who played, position players for my dad. And it's just, I think about all these guys. I think about all the guys that have reached out to me in the last 2 weeks about coming in the game. And it's a special place with special people, and it's a really weird situation because the football program, as successful as we have been over the last 80 years, with 5 national titles and 27 conference titles, we've never played on campus. And I'll get choked up, but to think about that I get to be the head coach out here, means a lot to me. Given all those names I just mentioned, it means a lot to me, and I don't take it lightly. And but it's very very special. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're okay, Coach. That's one of the interesting things too. Myself, when I joined the sports program over at KBPK about 9 years ago, one of the big things that I noticed when I first came out here is the fact that nobody looked at me and said, "Oh, you're just the intern. Oh, you're just the guy who's attached to Corey and Mark."
Right.
Everyone looked at me and said, "Hey, you know what? You are now a part of the Hornet family,
right,
and we're going to treat you as such."
Right.
And it's been the same when I was talking to Tim Burns, with yourself as well. You've welcomed me every time I've come over to talk to you. You look at the Hornet family that is going to be here on Saturday. You mention what it means to you personally. When you get a chance to be able to talk to those guys who are reaching out to you, and then you see the coaching staff and the current team as well, how are you able to kind of convey that feeling to them of how special it is to guys who maybe didn't necessarily grow up in the area knowing about the program?
One of the things that we do in our program, we do it every year. I know I've done it every year as a head coach here at Fullerton because it means a lot to me. Is I talk about the legacy. I actually go through kind of not a long time, but we spend time in a team meeting actually going over the legacy and what Fullerton College Football, the tradition, the legacy, the people. So we go over all that stuff, and some of it sinks in, some of it may not. But the one thing that I think our young men understand is when they come in this program is that it is a family. And it doesn't mean, and the beautiful thing with a family is not everybody gets along all the time, right? Again, I had two brothers who played here as well, and we used to fight like crazy, so, not your family doesn't get along all the time, but your family's got each other's back. And so it doesn't matter if you're, like I said, a Jeff Andrews who graduated, 30 years ago, or a Brian Crooks who we played together, or whoever else. You're all a part. You're a special part of the family, not only at Fullerton College but within the football program. So when we break to Hornet family, it means something to me, and it means something to us as a group. And I think that comes through eventually. And I get a lot of feedback from our players about their coaches. And the one thing that really stands out to me when I talk to former players is the impact that their position coaches had on them when they played here. And a lot of it, like when I talked to a guy like Rob Coons who went on to play at Pitt, and then in the NFL, and I talked to Rob about the impact my own dad had on him, or Rich Nelson, or Jeff Andrews, or you can keep going with the list. These guys that my dad had a personal impact. I think about the impact that Coach Thomas had on me, or Coach Sampson had on me. And so when we talk about family, what you're really talking about is the impact we have on each other. And the one thing I love, and I get the feedback from our players all the time, is how much they value their relationship with the coaches. And that position coach spends way more time with them than I do. And so it's really that's where the family part of it starts. I mean, we have to have our values, which we do, and we believe in what we believe in as a program, but it filters through the coaches to the players, and that's the beautiful thing of it is It's a family. And we talked today to some of the players, or to almost all the players, about, the 16, 17, 18 teams and how family really meant a lot to them. And so I think the biggest way that we kind of convey it is just by living it every day and knowing that, you know what? Sometimes my guys piss me off, but I still love them, and they're my guys. And, so as much as I might jump their ass a little bit out here, or coach might jump their ass a little bit out there, we put our arms around them and tell them we love them too, because we do. And it's really, at the end of the day, I was just like them. I made mistakes, I screwed up, but I had coaches who cared about me and made an impact in my life. And that's what we're trying to do as well.
Coach, I want to say thank you for not only just helping put on this Hal Sherbeck Football Classic, but also helping mentor these guys and also talking to us all the time. You've never looked at us and said, no, I don't want to talk to you. There may have been days where you looked at us and you go, oh,
Get
great.
somebody else to talk to you.
Yeah. But you know what? You never looked at us and said, I don't want to talk to you today. So we really appreciate it. And we thank you for joining us on the show.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you on Saturday with the Hornet family.
Definitely. Thank you.
So welcome back to us three gentlemen here on the Coaches Show, Ryan Osborne, Raymond Vasquez, and you've had the opportunity to listen to some of our coaches on the field and the history. We've already talked about the history of this Fullerton College team. Football game around the corner, home field, first time in 106 years. We're here. The Lost Boys are no longer lost. And guys, that's one thing we don't want to mention on the next Coaches Show. Hey, guess what? It was a loss. We hope that when they walk away, they start their conference playoff right where they did last year and end up being conference champions one more time.
And what's interesting, Mark, is you look at all the transitions throughout Fullerton College's legendary history. You look at this Sherbeck Football Classic. It's not just to honor Hal Sherbeck, but it's to honor all of those coaches and coaching staffs that have helped Fullerton College continue a legacy of championships. You look back to 65, 67, 1983, 16, and 17. Lots of championships for Fullerton College and successes. A lot of people who moved on from this program and went and had success at the next level. When you look at Fullerton College, it's not just about Hal Sherbeck and the Sherbeck Football Classic. This day will celebrate every Hornet that came before.
And when we talk about celebrating all the Hornets in the past, you've had the opportunity to meet this new staff, and it's not really a new staff for us, but a new staff for you and the players out there. First time in the field, what do you look forward to at that game coming up this Saturday?
Well, what Ryan said is absolutely true. You can really feel the passion and the energy here, not just from the players, but from the coaches as well. This Saturday is a testament to how long Fullerton College has been going, and the players here know that, and the coaches know that, and it's just an amazing feeling to be a small part in such a long and storied history.
It's amazing. You look at 5 banners on the wall. I'm not going to forget Gene Murphy. I had the greatest time. I remember when we used to come out and visit Gene all the time. And, of course, that's when the term the Lost Boys started, because Fullerton had no home field. They had no place to go. And it's been a lot of conversation and a lot of years for Mr. Nealon and myself to finally walk into a stadium, said the wrong word, home field, and feel comfortable with it here tonight. So for people like Tim Burns, who, like I said, I put him in the same plateau as Hal because of the national championships and should get the love that Hal has got. And for coaches like Gene Murphy, who made us laugh all the time along the way, him and Mickey Flynn used to light up this football field. Ryan Osborne and Corey can tell you that. And let's not forget the current regime. Of course, we want to look at Garrett and what he's done with this team. He was there for that championships with Tim Burns and Brian Crooks, some of the other coaches that were out here. To all of them, not just the head coaches, but to every educator that's been a coach on this field. We want to thank you. And that, Ryan Osborne, is what we celebrate this weekend. It's sports, it's education, it's a future for all athletes here at Fullerton College is what we celebrate this weekend, this coming Saturday and today here on the Coaches Show. For Ryan Osborne, for Raymond Vasquez, you've been watching the Coaches Show on KBPK.